has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Hey guys, Mazlo here again. This time I'm taking a look at Subroza, everybody's favorite punching bag in the CS community. This guy gets a lot of shit for some of the clips he's had, and rightly so in my opinion. Like, some of his clips are just beyond blatant. So he's a guy that can definitely be looked at without worrying too much about, like, when you look at certain players, it really divides the community and a lot of people and fans get defensive. Subroza definitely doesn't have much of a fan base, so I don't know if that hurts his case, but people certainly don't come to his defense like a lot of other people. Probably doesn't help that he's more blatant than most as well. So anyways, I grabbed a demo where he fragged pretty decently. It was a close game, and I figured I'd just take a rip through it and see what it looked like. Alright, let's get into it. It's a nice quick pistol round for Subroza here, not too much to talk about. He has some pretty funny moments in this match, like not just for cheating, he's got some other just brain dead moments that he does. But we'll get to those when we get there. This pistol round he just, gets wrecked, so that's quick. This is the very next round and they do, it's a 2v2 and they're trying to retake A. And he has some fast mouse movement here that always raises red flags when I see a guy moving his mouse really weird when I can't really kind of understand what he's doing, So I'll slow that down, but I'll let this round play out. We get a little in-game voice, which is nice. We get to hear some callouts. And he doesn't act like he knows the guy's spawn or anything. That's definitely one of the reasons why I think this is nothing. Hello. He actually gets a call out during the retakes from one of his teammates. He says, last guy spawned, right? And then when he goes to defuse, he looks spawned. So I'm going to slow down that part at the beginning that I thought looked weird, but turns out to be nothing. Because when he did jump up here, it looked like his crosshairs making a beeline to the guy in spawn, but he didn't react. Like when he retook the site, he didn't act like he had knowledge that a guy was in spawn. So it's definitely possible he was probably just looking to the edge of the smoke. And Subroza is pretty active with his crosshair when he moves it around, so he's looking in a lot of different places. And yeah, and then the final nail in the coffin is you can hear the comms when he retakes, and one of his teammates says he should be spawned, so he looks spawn after that. So it's just one of those moments where the crosshair moves weird and turns out to be nothing. I figured I'd include it. I threw this round in just because he gets a really quick 3K. I watched it a few times in like different races slow motion, but I couldn't find anything in it. He gets a really nice jiggle peek there, but the round did look legit, so I'll give him that. Let me know if you guys see anything, but look clean to me. This is kind of the same deal as the last clip. It's just a really quick retake that he did and got a couple kills. I didn't see anything either. He had some good spam in to the guy under bulk, but I mean, there's not a ton you could say about that, I don't think. And then the guy came out and surprised him, so I don't think there's too much you can look into that clip either. Looks fine. I have a couple things that I wanted to show in this round. Nothing too insane or anything, but he does start off with a pretty sweet smoke spam, which isn't too bad. But I mean, when your name's Subroza, I gotta include all the funny looking stuff, right? So then later in the round, I thought this was really weird how he kind of looked up at apps here, real quick. I don't know, that didn't feel right for sure. It seemed like pretty odd crosshair placement. You would think he would just keep looking at Cat. The guy was walking, so there's no way you could have heard him or anything. So I'll slow it down, take a better look at it. He doesn't go right on the guy or anything, but there's offsets and everything for aim keys if you want them. You can definitely set up an offset so it so it'll be like 4 feet off the guy's head, or however far off you wanted it when you configure it. Not saying that that's what this is. It's just pretty weird crosshair placement in my opinion. You know, if you're gonna back off, back into sight or back towards the van, you'd probably be looking at Cat and how he goes up and then comes back down. I don't know, that doesn't feel right, so it's in here. So it's another A-side retake. It seems like they did this the whole half, where Subroza was constantly rotating over. And this big flick to mid just seemed really weird to me, because he didn't really have any knowledge the guy was there. Goes pretty close to the player model, so I just wanted to take another look at it. I'll check it out after this round's over. There's a lot of in-game chatter this round, so I'll shut up and let you guys listen to that.
Oh, dude. I said it too.
I said it as well.
Dude, Kenny's so fucked.
Yeah, Yassine fucked him so hard.
Maybe they took B then.
You fucked him connected, so
Yassine fucked up so bad.
I don't like how he peeks apps here either. It seems like poor crosshair placement. But not the end of the world. And they win the round. So here's the spot I wanted to slow down. This is another thing that definitely, like, it could be nothing, but he had no knowledge that there was a guy mid. Especially, like, boosting window, you know, or jumping into window. Like, that'd be really unusual. He even lines up to the guy ramp a little bit, but that definitely could be nothing. Take another look here. I'm just trying to think if it makes sense for him to do what he's doing. Like, it's not the end of the world, but it doesn't look right. You know, like normally in that position, you would just keep looking connector. The chances that someone comes through window is pretty rare. So. Just seemed kind of weird, so I went ahead and grabbed the perspective from Tabson because he was the guy mid. So I wanted to see if he made sound, and he was running a bit, but I don't think Subroza heard him. Didn't really react like he heard him. Like when Subroza turned, it wasn't when Tabson was making any noise. Take a look again, but I'm pretty sure Subroza wouldn't have heard it, and nobody saw him mid either, so weird. This is another smoke spam from Subroza, and it doesn't look like much, and it definitely could be nothing. He is spamming a pretty common plant spot, and they are planting. But he does get some hits onto Peter, so I figured I'd put it in there to see if his crosshair looked like it was kind of getting adjusted a little bit during the spam, and it kind of did, to be honest. I grabbed a overhead view as well to see if that would help. I don't know, you can't tell too much from it though, is the thing, right? Like, someone could be spamming into a smoke and aim key, you'd almost have no way of knowing. That's his blue line of sight there that comes in at the end of the frame. So he is spamming like a normal spot, and Peter's just kind of in line with it, but it's just another clip that was kind of a little uncomfortable to watch, you know? I feel like Subroza knows people are watching his demos, so he does shit like this to troll them. Anyways, he's not around a guy or anything, but obviously it looks weird, but I'm pretty sure he's just trolling or moving his mouse around. Could be anything. Alright, pistol round T side. Subroza thinks he's Nico, so he's deagling on the pistol round. They have a pretty commanding lead here, so I didn't really expect anything to happen here. The game does tighten up as it goes on. But this round's as clean as it gets. Subroza. This is an early gun round in the second half, and I figured I'd just include the whole round. It's a pretty active round from Subroza. Without too much going on in it, I thought. But it does end up being a clutch type situation where they're in a 2v1, so I figured I'd include it. And And if you guys spot anything, let me know as usual in the comments. I thought maybe when his crosshair moved towards spawn that could have been something, but it's just not enough to really say anything about. Because he could have just been moving his crosshair to spawn, right? So could have been that simple. And he has a nice honorable death here by the grenade. I actually did want to go over this quickly, where it's one of those few clips that looks worse at full speed than it does at slow motion. I don't know, it just didn't seem great. I don't know. I'll slow it down, let you guys take a look at it. It doesn't go right on him. I just thought, you know, he'd clear it and be looking towards spawn as he comes out. This could be nothing, but figured I'd throw it in there, throw it in with the pile, right? I just thought this was an insane kill. Like, the first time through I didn't even see the guy and he killed him. Figured I'd show it. Nice. Alright, here it is. We finally got a really weird one from Subroza. Locks onto the first guy, pretty much right on the head, and then the second guy. Like, what are the chances that you do that pretty much right on both their heads within like half a second? I'll just show it again full speed here. One guy. Two guys. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I figured I'll check it out in slow-mo, but like, he misses by a little bit, I think. But I don't know, that's pretty fucking close. And what are the chances he does both? Normally when I talk about aim locks, I say, you know, doesn't it kind of make sense that it would lock on to the closest guy, or closest guy to your crosshair at least? I don't know. Which wouldn't apply in this case. But when I watch this clip, like, I ask myself, what are the fucking chances that it locks on to both of their heads in like half a second? Granted, they are in window room, which is a narrow passage, so like, you know, he only has so much space to put his crosshair, but still, that looked really accurate. Subrosa has a pretty good wannabe Stewie 2K moment here, where he tries to flash himself through the smoke and then can't find the exit of the smoke. Yeah, just like Stewie, good job. Comes back out the other way. It's a good follow-up to the last clip that I had. Just, this guy's unbelievably lucky when it comes to locking onto dudes' heads through fucking walls. So it happens really quick. I don't know if you caught it. I'll slow it down, or I'll show it again at full speed again when he comes around the corner here. And this is fucking locked right on the guy's head. Take a look in slow-mo. This is probably the most blatant clip. Like, that's pretty bad crosshair placement. Looking through a wall for no reason. You know, if he would have been looking up at the window a little bit more, you can make the argument he's trying to check window. But that's just brutal crosshair placement. Like, it makes no sense for him to look there, and he's fucking lined up right on a guy's head. That's pretty bad.
Why'd he stop?
You may have seen this fail clip already on Reddit, but it's pretty bad. Like, Subrosa. So earlier in the round, he stopped to look at an op for about, I don't know, at least 2 seconds, kind of deciding whether or not to pick it up, and forgot how fucking big of a map Mirage is, and didn't have time to plant. Alright, last round. Kusta does most of the heavy lifting here. Subrosa doesn't have to do very much, so it's a pretty straightforward round. There's one spot where his crosshair kind of lines up with a guy, but I don't think it really is much. It did turn into a really close game though, so I'm sure they want to win this round, you know. Subrosa is so fun to cover, like some of the shit he does. Right there when he moved his crosshair just before he sprayed there, he lines up with the guy and drop, but he's also lined up with the angle that he's kind of holding, so I don't think it's anything. Well, there's a very high chance that it's nothing. That'll do it. Okay, that's video 2 of 3 done for Subrosa. And he just had way too many moments in this fucking game where he'd line up with someone. He had a few spots where he was you know, on someone's shoulder or off a little bit, but then he had a couple where like he just had too many. And this isn't even like some of the clips he's had in the past are just hilarious. I don't know how this guy hasn't been banned yet. I know everyone's against manual bans, but give me a fucking break. Like I commented on Reddit before, I'm like, Subroza is the test subject for pros to see how fucking much they can cheat without getting banned. And as long as someone like Subroza is around and not getting banned, you're never gonna see like people at like Shocks and Flusha and whoever else, like those guys can literally spin bot almost and they won't get banned. Some of the shit that Subroza does is just unbelievable. He didn't have as many bad moments in this clip. Well, I mean, he had a few, to be honest, but like I've seen some shit that he's done that is just bizarre. And this clip or this demo didn't really include things that would make it to the front page of Reddit or anything, but it had some pretty bad moments, especially when you combine everything that he did. So I had a good time going through Subroza's demo. It's always fun looking at his demos. Usually something pretty interesting to find. I wanted to do Subroza again because, like I said at the beginning, he's a bit of a punching bag in the CS community. Everybody kind of unites and can all agree that Subroza earns a lot of the hate that he gets. Because the next guy I'm going to cover is going to make me a little bit more controversial. I'm probably going to look at another Stewie 2K demo next, and judging by how my first review of him went, it might not be good. So if you're a Cloud9 fan, you may or may not want to watch the next video, but I figured I'd make this Subroza video just to appeal to everybody, and figured we could all have a good time going through it. So, alright, I'll see you guys next time, and be sure to catch ECS this weekend. Peace.